Well, from the city that's at the heart of it all, good evening and welcome to this evening's election debate. Tonight, coming to you from the city of Mangaung in the Free State. Brought to you, of course, tonight with compliments or with great help from the Free State Central University of Technology, our partners for this evening's debate. Well, do remember that at home you can, of course, interact with people across the country as you are watching tonight's debate. The hashtags, it's election debate. The other hashtag is hashtag SABC elections. And the other one, of course, is hashtag elections on SABC. Well, without much ado, I'm going to ask our panelists to very briefly take us through what, for their respective political parties, are the issues in this municipality, and perhaps to touch on some of the key tenets of your respective manifestos. I'm going to start with the ANC's representative, who is, of course, also the ANC's chief whip in the municipality, Mr. Zolile Mangojwa. You have a minute to take us through very briefly what your party stands for, how you're going to fight this election, and what you believe are the most important issues affecting this particular community.
Thank you very much, Voyo, to yourself, and pass my greetings to the viewers at home, as well as the attendees here, comrades of the African National Congress. As the ANC, we have our guiding document where we derive our manifestos historically throughout history, and that is the Freedom Charter. The Freedom Charter is actually the Bible of the African National Congress. So now, coming to the local government elections in 2016, what is contained in our manifesto, it is actually a manifestation of the issues as raised in the clause of the Freedom Charter. For instance, if you check at what our manifesto raised in 2016, we talk about access to municipal services as the African National Congress, as well as the reduction of outsourcing.
Your time is up, sir. Okay. Thank you very much. Well, representing the Democratic Alliance is Mr. James Letuka. Your minute starts now.
Thank you very much, sir, and the members of the Democratic Alliance who are here. We as the Democratic Alliance, we are aware of the situation that this Mangaung municipality is in. And we are having the following as very, very important and need to be addressed as quickly as possible. We want the Mangaung that works. When you look at joblessness in Mangaung, it's shocking. And when you look at what, I'm not talking about what we think we can do. We have got proof of what we can do as far as creating jobs are concerned. When you look at where the Democratic Alliance rules, take Cape Town for instance. This year alone, from January to now, 4,000 jobs have been created. But here in Mangaung, 15,000 people lost their jobs.
Well, let's go to Cope. Cope's representative on this panel is its provincial chairperson, Mr. Papi Khanare. Your minute starts now.
Okay, thanks, sir. As the Congress of the People, we will ensure that the councillors who will be elected on behalf of COPE are reliable, accountable, and incorruptible, so that they can be able to ensure that the municipality functions effectively and efficiently, so that there can be effective and innovative planning, and so that there can be the promotion of economic development and growth in the city.
Thank you very much. Well, last but not least, and representing the EFF is Mr. Khotso Murapila. Your minute starts now, sir.
Greetings to fighters. As the EFF, we move from the understanding that local government as a sphere of government which is very closer to our people, we take it very much serious, that particular point. What as the EFF we are going to do is to ensure that we abolish tenders and make sure that we create jobs for our people, because tenders that have been issued out are tenders for friends, and the municipality has been run to be bankrupt by the very same ruling party. Part of the things that we are going to do is to make sure that we uproot corruption in municipality and make sure that Mangaung Metro is a metro that will deliver to the people, particularly the poor of the poorest. That is what we are going to do as the economic freedom fighters when we take over Mangaung come the 4th of August.
Thank you very much. Well, gentlemen, just to perhaps kick off some of the discussion, just picking up from what some of you issues that you yourselves have raised, starting with the ANC access to services. You've been running this municipality since. Are you convinced in your own minds that you've done in the years, in the past 20 years or so, the best that you could do?
Thank you. You see, Vuyo, as the ANC, we don't have the privilege, because we're a governing party. We don't have a privilege to be populistic and lie to the people and our masses, because we are in government. So what is happening? As the ANC, it is on record we have delivered. If you go to areas like Botshabelo, we have eradicated pit latrine toilets in Botshabelo. People of Botshabelo have sanitation, as well as bulk services, water services. As the ANC, we have been able to build houses for the people of Mangaung in the 3 towns or areas. We have been able to go into building roads, stormwater drainage, and improving on service delivery generally.
Well, we're going to take a quick ad break, and when we come back, we're going to ask the rest of the political parties whether they in fact agree with you that you've done the best that you could do, and whether in fact you have indeed done the things that you claim you to have done. That's after this short ad break.
What's wrong with Triple M? What is illegal here? Who is being defrauded here, Trevor?
It is about the best interest of the citizens of this country.
But the citizens are the ones who are playing, who are members or participants in this. If you put in 15,000 rand, after 12 months you get 1.2 million rands. I mean, who wouldn't go for this?
Watch Question Time with me, Mpho Tsedu, Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on the SABC News Channel.
We're heading to a future of cars that will drive themselves, and a place where robots will be doing some of our chores. But the challenge in Africa is to make sure that everyone is part of this new world.
To be behind with technology, it is a challenge for us as offenders.
There are many initiatives to ensure that Africans are truly connected.
We're now giving more access and internet to now the end users.
On Network, we have information on Africa's technology landscape, possibilities for the future, and some great African innovations. That's Network with me, Spumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debate brought to you by SABC News, and tonight in partnership with the Free State Central University of Technology. Well, coming to the rest of the panelists, you heard what the ANC had to say. They believe that in the 20 years or so that they have been in charge here, they have actually done very well. Thank you very much. Wow. Do you agree?
No, sir, at all I don't. If what the ANC was able to do over 22 years is their best that they have shown us, I'm happy that we have reached a stage where they must go.
Where have they failed?
They have failed because all the promises they made to the people, they have not been fulfilled.
Like?
People have been promised heaven on earth, which has not happened. People are jobless. Even the meager jobs that we had have disappeared, are not there. Now we are saying it's time for them to go, to show you that they are not even serious about giving quality jobs, quality services. Look at their candidate, the current candidate, the mayoral candidate. They are bringing somebody without any track record.
Thank you very much. Mr. Khanare, has the ANC delivered in your view?
Thanks very much. What we can say is that the ability of the ANC to institutionalize corruption is well documented. And therefore, it is no more something which we should debate about. Their inability to fill vacancies in this municipality, of more than 3,000 vacancies in this municipality, when people are still unemployed, they are unable to fill those particular vacancies. Their inability to have a plan to roll out the tarring of all the roads in the township, their inability to provide services to the rural villages of Tabansu and Bosabe, their inability to make sure that the crime is reduced in here and cannot be regarded as success.
Yeah. Out of 37.7% of young people in Mangaung are unemployed, which takes us to 150 young people that are still unemployed. Despite that, we've got these ones that are sitting who have just lost hope to look for jobs, is 70,000. It can tell you clearly that Mangaung and Metro, under the leadership of the ANC, it has failed dismally to give young people, our people, jobs so that they can be able to leverage and make sure that they can actually better their lives. They've been saying almost all of these years that a better life for all, but all what we have seen, it has been a better life for few individuals that are very close to the leadership and all of that. Kids of councillors is them that are getting jobs, but majority of young people are still roaming the streets of Bloemfontein, Botshabelo, and Tabanchu without jobs. Is that what Mr. Mangota is trying to say, that the ANC has delivered? Really, it's a shame with what we are seeing the situation in Mangaung.
Yo. Lots and lots of accusations there. You don't care about young people. You are corrupt. You're promising people heaven on earth, and yet you are not delivering on any of those things.
Thank you, Voyo.
Let's start with young people.
Yes.
What are you doing for young people?
You know, among all what my fellow panelists have said, I've not yet even a single one of them talking about what is it that they offer, that they have to offer. I've listened to them carefully. From the DA to the EFF, they have nothing to offer, no alternative. They've just been criticizing the policies of the ANC and the implementation of service delivery by the ANC. And on record, as Mangaung Metro, led by the ANC, we created more than 8,400 jobs. As the Metro in Mangaung, we created more than 400 job opportunities through the EPWP. As the metro, we are engaging our youth here. It is on record here that through collaboration with APSA and the very same institution where we are ECAT, we have recruited 880 youth who will be taught skills for them to be ready for work.
Let me ask you to pause right there. You heard what he has to say. That's what they are doing for this municipality's young people.
Totally, it is not true. We couldn't be where we are in terms of the statistics when we check young people that are actually unemployed. Maybe perhaps he's talking about their cadre deployment, the volunteers of ANC. Maybe it's them that are deployed in those vacancies, but real young people that are on the streets there, we know each and every time, even yourself, you can drive around, you'll see young people sitting on the robots asking for jobs. Yeah. Is that what they were doing?
You want to answer?
I want him to tell me if in Cape Town, in the Western Cape, are there no people sitting on robots looking for jobs? They are there. They are there.
I need you to speak to Mr. Khanare's accusation around corruption, that you are corrupt.
Corruption, it's imaginary. Corruption can be real. Corruption, it's a societal problem confronting the society of South Africa. And you can go to my fellow panelists, the EFF. Many of their leaders were in the ANC. What did they do? They defrauded Limpopo province. Was that not corrupt?
There are mayors and officials who are in prison now because they stole money from the municipality of Mangaung. They were ANC. The officials. There was a case here. When the Hawks were doing their job, the previous mayor of Mangaung was on trial. His wife and a lot of officials of Mangaung were on trial. And the previous speaker of Mangaung, who was the ANC, they are in prison as I speak to you now. And he says that there was no corruption. There was corruption.
At that point in time, the time that he refers to, he was the leader of the ANC himself.
No.
He was the MEC of Education. At that point in time, he was quiet. He never said anything. Now that he has jumped ship, he's raising all this because he's frustrated. Hope is finished.
No, he must not tell the truth. He must tell the truth. I was not the leader of the ANC at that time. I was not.
You were in the executive council of the Free State province. You were.
Let me ask all of you to hold your thoughts right there. This debate, of course, continues right after this short break.
Introducing our single malt beer, Carling Blue Label Beer, made from a select single variety of malted barley. With a bold Carling taste. Bold taste, rich reward.
Usisiwe Jamsana, SABC News, Alice.
Mzwandi Lembeje, SABC News, Doha, Qatar.
Kunatipingwa SABC News, Alice.
Diabo Seto, SABC News, Geneva, Switzerland.
Nampumelo Zanzibar, SABC News, Moscow, Russia.
Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.
Craig Murray, SABC News, Stellenbosch.
We bring the news back home. We keep the nation fully informed.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debate brought to you by SABC News. And tonight, in partnership with the Free State Central University of Technology. Our focus this week, the city of Mangaung. Well, I'm going to focus in this particular part of the program on what you as opposition parties have to offer. And just to take you back, the Metro in 2011, after the 2011 election, this is how things were. 65 seats for the ANC. For the DA, 27.1% of the vote, 26 seats. COPE with 3 seats. And of course, the FF Plus with 2 seats. Now, in terms of the percentage of votes in the 2014 election, looking at those numbers, it looks like it's going to be a tall order for the three of you to be able to catch up, let alone topple Goliath. So what are you putting on the table?
No, sir, it's not going to be a tall order. They have made the job very, very easy for us by all the corruption that they've been involved with. People are tired of their money being stolen. So that has got to go. Now, what is it you asked us? What is it that we are putting on the table? For the people to work, we say we want Mangaung that works. When you look at the geographic positioning of Mangaung, it is central in the country, central in the province. So we have got to actually use that to our advantage by making ourselves a hub for all the country. Because everybody passes through Mangaung.
What exactly do you do? What are you going to do?
We have got to create an environment that is going to be encouraging to all those potential investors, to help them, to ask them to come in and invest. It's not impossible. You look at the Vaal, where we govern. Look at the number of factories that have been put up. A number of them, many. That is why the people there were refusing to be joined with another municipality. So all those things can be brought to Mangaung, provided we remove our misleaders and we get the leaders properly.
What do you have to say?
Yes, no, thank you very much, boy. Mangaung is a public service area. Our economy here is based on public service, you see. So our own plan as the ANC is to invite industrialization into the area. And that we have done. And that we have done last week. The Minister of Trade, Rob Davis, was here. We have factories in Botshabelo. He was here to resuscitate those factories. He was here to resuscitate and make sure that those factories do their work properly. In the past, they were not very productive, but after the visit by the minister, he has actually unfolded a plan for them to be resuscitated so that they can be productive and provide necessary jobs for
Well, I was asking you to actually create what he is putting on the table as a solution. But let's leave that one for now. Let's come to COPE. What is COPE putting on the table?
Before I proceed with what COPE is putting on the table, in terms of ensuring that the municipality is run properly, the first thing you must do is to make sure that the councillors elected are incorruptible, so that those councillors can employ professional civil servants who will make sure that service delivery is implemented, to make sure that economic development and growth takes place. So as COPE, we will make sure that two things happen. The first thing, we'll have to put a program to ensure that entrepreneurs are well supported and are well backed up. The second point will be we'll form a municipal development and trading company, which will be where the municipality will be 100% shareholder, to make sure that they enable all other people who want to get involved to be in. Lastly, the issue of truth and honesty is a foreign concept as far as ANC is concerned. In 2004, I was not the leader of the ANC. when corruption was taking place in this municipality.
ANC,
We had been removed.
you heard what Cope is putting on the table. What do you think of what he's putting on the table? Developing entrepreneurs.
What COP is putting on the table is what they have failed. They are actually finished. It's what they have failed to do because whilst many of their leaders were in the ANC and they failed to do all these things which they are preaching today here. You see, and I don't see them having the potential. They don't have capacity because they don't have the muscle to do all what he's proposing. But as the ANC, we have a workable plan here. We are not some sucking. We have a workable plan that we have been implementing, and our manifesto is actually a continuation of our plan which we have been implementing. So there's no doubt.
Mr. Stop talking about the ANC. Stop talking about the ANC. He says, just put something on the table.
As the EFF, what we're going to do, number one, is to make sure that we create jobs by abolishing tenders so that we can take as many people as we could and employ young people and those that are unemployed, number one. Two is to make sure that we deal away with consultant. We get competent, well-educated South Africans, not based on the political inclination or affiliation, but people that are highly skilled, that can be able to deliver services to our people, irrespective of political leaning. That's what we're going to do. The third issue that we're going to ensure is to make sure that disabled people, the aged, they don't pay services because we understand that they cannot afford to actually pay services. But those that can afford to pay, they must be able to pay. We can't punish the poor of the poorest to pay because, by the way, they don't have jobs as we are speaking. So those are the things that we're going to do and ensure that all these, our street talkers, people that are selling in the streets, we make sure that small businesses, we give them that dignity. We develop them by making sure that we give necessary skills, financial skills, so that they can run their business efficiently and make sure that they can actually feed their families.
You heard what the EFF is putting on the table.
Okay, no, thank you very much, Voyo. It is on record that whatever the EFF is promising, it has been defeated not only by the ANC, even political commentators. They see their plan as impractical, something that cannot be implemented anywhere else. So what he's talking about there, it is actually a shopping list of things that they are not going to achieve. Because their plan, it has been proved to be not implementable on the ground. But as the ANC, on the issue of corruption, the president of the ANC, when he was unfolding the manifesto, President Jacob Zuma, he said, councillor accountability is one of the priorities of the ANC in terms of the manifesto, and that the ANC government will sign performance agreements with all councillors of the ANC. So we are very practical. We are not theorizing.
Okay. Gentlemen, I want to ask you something here. That's the graph showing the ANC since 2000, 2006, 2011 elections. It's up there, way above 60 to 76.6% in 2006, then back to 66.2 in 2011. What, from your analysis, is making it possible for that party to continue up there, to continue seemingly to win the hearts and minds of the people of this metro, something that you seem to be struggling to do, the two of you? We'll see how you fare, of course, on the third. Let me start with you.
No, sir. I don't think
very briefly.
I don't think it's correct to say they are going to grow. I'm telling you, as from these elections, the ANC will be out.
But what have you done differently that will give you or guarantee you the results that you are looking for?
Now, we as a Democratic Alliance, we want Mangaung to be a delivering municipality, which at the moment is not. We want Mangaung to be a caring municipality. Look at the number of title deeds that people should have received. You know, a title deed is not just a piece of paper. It's something that can enable the owner of that property to utilize it to market himself or to access whatever he wants to access.
Okay. What has COPE done differently this time around to make sure that you arrest this trend?
It's a well-documented history that immediately after our formations, there was a lot of infighting. And that actually affected our operation as a party. Since 2014, we have consolidated ourselves as a party. We have got one president, we have got one national executive committee, and we are building COPE structures everywhere in the country, including here in Mangaung. And as a result of that, we will increase our votes come the 3rd of August in Mangaung.
Very, very briefly, what is the EFF doing? What are you putting into your campaign? What are you saying to the people out there? That which presumably these two have not been able to do, and hence is the reason that the ANC seems to be a runaway train here in Mangaung.
Well, I must say that we're very much humbled as the EFF by the growth that we see in the EFF. People are joining us in numbers because they've just lost hope to the dying African National Congress, and the programs and all things that we're offering is the reality. If we can just put the priorities, all what we need to do is to make sure that we don't waste money on unnecessary things like we've seen what the ANC is doing to build parks to a tune of 38 million. Whereas we can actually take that money and invest it into Kaelicha, where people, they don't have roads, they don't have toilets and all of those things. That is what we're going to do, and we're humbled by that particular growth as the EFF. And you can see that we're even eating into our support. Their members are joining us in large numbers. Even they themselves, they say that we're on track. They are going to make sure that they vote the EFF come the 3rd of August.
Thank you. Well, it's time to take another quick break. This debate continues.
Is there a difference between a Ponzi, a pyramid scheme, and a stokvel, or this particular one, which the representative called an alternative financial system?
It's got its own currency. It's got its own banking system.
How do you even trace? The minute there's no track record, the minute there's no banking transactions, it means that we are talking about something that is floating in the air.
It's a system of mutual donation exchange.
30% return on investment, Clive. Is that even a reality here in South Africa? Are they perhaps blessers in disguise?
I'm not going to mention anything about blessings.
Why are electoral systems important in a democracy?
We think of democracy as voting people into office. The other side of the coin is that we would be more empowered and more accountable in politics if we could do the opposite, is vote them out when they don't deliver.
Politics is about who gets what, when and how.
If you look up on the internet as to how the head of state is chosen, it says monarchy.
We should not refer to an election as a contest.
So we should not shy away from the fact that an election is a contest. Of course, I do admit that it's not a bloody contest, or it shouldn't be a bloody contest.
It shouldn't be a bloody
people,
contest.
Fight and, of course, and
it should also not be a beauty contest.
Then it shouldn't be also a beauty contest either.
Swiss people, for example, can travel internationally with a cantonal passport, not even a national one. That's like us traveling on a Free State passport, for example.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debate brought to you by SABC News, and tonight in partnership with the Free State Central University of Technology. Time to take some questions and comments from the audience. Let's start with Cope.
My question is directed to Ntate Papi Khanare. Ntate Papi, as we all know that water is so scarce in the Free State, we even saw when people of Fixback were marching for water, poor Tatani's blood was given to them to drink. Now I want to know, if voted into municipalities, what will COPE do to better water and sanitation management? Thank you.
You have no more than a minute, Mr. Khanare.
Okay. Well, the first thing we have got to understand is that dams have already been built all over the Free State. The problem is that infrastructure maintenance has not been done. There is no problem. Most of the dams in the Free State have been built in such a way that you can have drought for 2 years, but still have water. But because of the governing party, which failed to maintain infrastructure, that's why we have got problems. So the first thing we'll do, we'll make sure that those dams, the infrastructure is properly maintained. Secondly, we will encourage water harvesting, because if we harvest the rainwater, we will have enough water because we have got rains every time in summer. That's basically what we can do. We will do.
Thank you very much. Let's take a question from the ANC.
My question goes to both the leadership of the ANC and the leadership of COPE. Comrade Mangaung, the ANC has changed the face of Mangaung since the past 5 years. Mangaung today is a construction site because of the African National Congress. With regard to social housing, I want to check what is the ANC plan going forward to do that marvelous job that it continues to do even today.
Thank you very much. One question, sir. No, sir. Thank you. No, thank you. Let's get an answer.
No, thank you very much, Voyo. But first, I want to go to the issue of water. In Mangaung, 98% of the inhabited citizens have access to clean water in Mangaung. That is why the lady will pick Fixback and other, not Mangaung, because here we provide water. But then, coming to the question there raised by the comrade, indeed, Mangaung is a construction site. Like I said when I started, this is a continuation of work that we have done, good work that we have done as the ANC. In the next 5 years, we are going to accelerate service delivery and provide sanitation in particular to all the citizens of Mangaung, which we have already started. So far, we have provided more than 5,000, like I said, sanitation to the revenues in Botshabelo and in Tabanchu. So that is work in progress. We are going to make sure that we accelerate, we improve on that, and we are going to make sure that in these 5 years that we are completing, there will be service delivery.
Thank you very much, Vio. My first question will be directed to
one and only question,
to the ANC. You know, it has almost become a phenomenon by the ANC to sit, on national TV with a straight face and lying to the nation. I think they must be ashamed of themselves. How can you sit here bragging about EPW and CWP job opportunities that you are creating? Those are not permanent jobs. It is not. And talking about the Freedom Charter, really, in my own opinion, I don't think there's very little that has been implemented by the ANC in terms of the Freedom Charter. And I can also state to the ANC,
let's hear what the ANC has to say.
In the last 10 years, they have not been able to eradicate the bucket system for the last 10 years. In fact, it's the metro with the biggest backlog in terms of bucket systems.
The Freedom Charter is the document of the ANC. We don't share it with anybody. It is our own legacy as the ANC. So the Freedom Charter, all the clause of the Freedom Charter, we make assessment from time to time. The ANC is on course in implementing the Freedom Charter as it was adopted by the ANC in 1956. Coming to the question of works, EPWP, we come from a country, a history whereby our people were marginalized. We don't compete. We don't compete with the first world countries. So the aim of PPWP is actually to cushion poverty that is there among our people as a temporary measure, so that our people can be able to put bread and food on the table at the end of the day.
Let's get a question from the DA.
My question is for Ntate Letuka. Ntate Letuka, if you are elected as mayor of Mangaung, what are you going to do to replicate? What are you going to do to replicate the successes of the DA in Cape Town in respect of job creation here in Mangaung?
Dr. Letuka.
The DA policies are structured in such a way that they cater for all South Africans. This issue of job creation, we are going to have programs that will be focusing substantially on the youth, because they form the greater percentage of the jobless in this country. That's where we're going to start. Secondly, we are going to make it much, much easy with the type of transport, the intra-transport that we are going to have, to make it easier for people to commute between their homes and where they work. I was involved in traveling between Tabanchu and Botshabelo and Bloemfontein by bus with the commuters. It's a sickening type of thing, because people spend up to 5 hours traveling. So we have got to have transport. Train has got to be revitalized. Whatever other bus systems must come in to make it easier for people.
Thank you very much. Well, time to take another quick break. The debate continues.
From the moment you start your day.
My biggest question is how I got myself here on time. Yeah. This is so early for a comedian, I gotta be honest.
We are there for you. We bring your morning into perspective.
As news breaks throughout the morning,
is an investment into the future of the airports company, but also the future of our children, the future of our country, the future of the transport sector.
we'll make sure that you get the full story.
Give us quality music.
Load shedding. Listen, this winter.
It's a thing of the past. And you can count on the weather team with expertise.
Join us live at 6 a.m. daily.
What's wrong with Triple M? What is illegal here? Who is being defrauded here, Trevor?
It is about the best interest of the citizens of this country.
But the citizens are the ones who are playing, who are members or participants in this. If you put in 15,000 rand, after 12 months you get 1.2 million rands. I mean, who wouldn't go for this?
Watch Question Time with me, Mpho Tsedu, Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on the SABC News Channel.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debate, coming to you from the city of Mangaung and brought to you this evening by the SABC in partnership with the Free State Central University of Technology. It's the battle for this particular city. Now, gentlemen, at the end of the day, municipalities are by and large about making sure that you deliver water to the people, you deliver Sewerage services, you deliver electricity, and so on. I want to begin by asking the ANC. I mean, recently the municipality made an announcement. Water tariffs going up 8%. Sewerage tariffs up 8.2%. Electricity up 11.29%. A lot of people have argued that that is not a pro-poor arrangement. That in a municipality where a lot of people, he mentioned the figure of 37.7% of young people in particular being unemployed. Is that the way to go?
Yeah, no thanks for your, the reality of the economic situation in South Africa warranted as the metro to come up with those tariffs, because the economy is on the decline, and as the metro, for us to be able to provide services, we have to generate revenue, you see. So those tariffs there will make it possible for the metro, ANC Metro, to provide services. And for the record, our tariffs, as compared to other metros, they are not the West. You see, if you go to metros like Cape Town, for instance, their tariffs are above what the metro in Mangaung has set up. So it is not here nor there. It is far-fetched to say ours are too exorbitant. Go and check at other metros. Theirs are skyrocketing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vuyo.
I guess the question to you would be, it will be easy for you, as you have done, you've said that, you've said it in the past, that their budget is not pro-poor, that it is way above inflation.
Correct.
Now, but I want you to say, but to answer the question, where then would your government, if you were to be elected on the 3rd of August, how would you raise money? How would you ensure that communities pay for the services rendered to them?
But I think it's important for us to understand, before I come to that question of yours, that this current Mangaung municipality is very insensitive to the poor. How can you contemplate raising the tariffs when there is such a huge number of people not working? His comparison of what is happening in Cape Town, people in Cape Town work. The percentage of people who are jobless is very, very low. But now Mangaung cannot, as of now, contemplate raising the tariffs either for water. They come even with things that they will never even monitor, saying that even the boreholes, people will have to pay for. To start with, how are you going to count how many boreholes are there all over here? Now, how will you charge? How are you going to make the tariffs for such a... You see, the whole thing is nonsensical. Now, we, as the DA, we are going to look at other avenues, like, for instance, encouraging the investors to come and invest. Will create an environment to invest in the province and here in Mangaung.
Mr. Khanare, how do you strike that balance between, on the one hand, ensuring that you do provide sustainable services and there's a revenue stream, and on the other, ensuring that, of course, you do not prejudice the poor?
The first thing you have got to do is to make sure that you have got civil servants who are skilled and capable of doing their job. Because they will be able to regularize billing by adopting standards which are simple and straightforward, effective and friendly, so that people can know what they owe the municipality, and those who must pay their rates. Secondly, if you have got skilled engineers, not deployees, if you have got skilled engineers, you will be able to stop wastage, which is taking place as a result of deployees. And thirdly, you have got to accept that the people who are poor must be subsidized by those who are rich. That's why we believe in Congress of the People that only social democracy can succeed in South Africa.
The only organization that is pro-poor is the Economic Freedom Fighters, because we are saying that we are going to build a proactive municipality, not a reactive municipality, by making sure that at all material times, maintenance of infrastructure it is continuously maintained by the municipal workers that are going to be paid very decent salaries so that they can be able to deliver quality services to our people. We are going to make sure that as the EFF municipality, where we govern that, we will not tolerate what we call corruption, because it's something that we know that it robs our people the benefit that they need to get. That's what we are going to do, unlike many parties say that, they are corrupt, and we know that the municipal manager of the very same Mangaung, she has been suspended on the basis of allegations of corruption, and we know that this is a corrupt government of the ANC. As the EFF are going to make sure that we deal with corruption, anybody and anyone that found with his hand in the cookie jar in the government of the EFF is going to go.
Gentlemen, we've run out of time. I'm going to ask you to make your concluding comments. I'm going to give you a minute each. I'm going to start with you this time around.
We as the Democratic Alliance, when we take over the Mangaung Metro, we are going to make sure that it is a metro that works, it is a metro that is responsive to the needs of the residents, it is a metro that delivers on everything that the people want, it is a metro that stops corruption, because we are not convinced that this metro doesn't have enough money. If all the corrupt avenues can be closed, there will be enough money to carry on with the programs of the municipality. We are going to provide a safer municipality by having even the metro police who are going to work hand in hand with the SAPS to help. So we are saying to the people, if you want to see change,
thank you very much,
you want to see Mangaung work again, vote for the DA.
I want to use this opportunity to plead with South Africans that they must stop being loyal to history. This election is about the future of this country, and we need to save this country. And we can only save this country if they vote for COPE and give COPE an opportunity to ensure that service delivery is realized.
Mr. Mrapela?
All what we're asking is the people of Mangaung should vote for the economic freedom fighters come the 3rd of August, because we're capable. They've seen that we managed to stop corruption. We continue to make sure that we raise issues that directly affect them. We're pro-poor, and we'll make sure that the poor of the poorest, they continue to benefit into the government which they shall have elected, and that is the economic freedom fighters. It is the only hope for jobs and service delivery. We can be able to make sure that we deliver quality services to our people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your statistics are there to be seen by everybody. Evidence is there that as the ANC in 2011, we nearly got 2/3 majority in this particular metro. And we are going to build on that and make sure that we achieve over 2/3 majority. We are going to serve our people with humility. Our people will re-elect the ANC into government once more. Vote the ANC. It is the future.
Thanks to our wonderful audience for their participation, and that's where we're going to leave it for this evening. Do join us again next week, same time. It's the Battlegrounds 2016 Sunday Live debates on your channel SABC1 as well as SABC News 404. For this evening, it's a good night, and thank you very much for watching.
One other person has been shot dead and another is in a critical condition in hospital.
The CRL has laid charges against controversial televangelist Paseka Motsoeneng.
More than 1.3 million South Africans have been added in the past 2 registration weekends.
The International Monetary Fund warns that policy uncertainty could dampen economic growth in South Africa.
And all eyes are on the new Bok coach, Alistair Coetzee. He's challenged to keep everyone in the country happy.
We recently caught up with an artifact collector and also a photographer who have toured the African continent extensively, most recently Zanzibar, and each time they explore the beautiful continent, they bring back with them a piece of the places they visit.
I started 30 years ago in this game. I came down from Zimbabwe. At that time it was very hard to get a job, funny enough. So we started collecting artifacts in the Zambezi Valley and selling them on the Nickel Highway. I don't know if you remember the time when there were all those traders on the Nickel Highway. But I've had a long journey with tribal art and managed to travel all over Africa and all over the world, collecting what I call found objects, things that appeal to me, and bringing them back to South Africa. And slowly but surely, we've built Amatuli into a sort of business now that's 30 years old. It's done its time in the saddle.
Amatuli is an extension of a journey traveled, a place where everything bought is original, handcrafted, and created with skills long forgotten. Mark Valentine has been an artifact collector for over 30 years and is the proud owner of Amatuli.
It's a dream of mine and a journey. I've been lucky enough to visit Lalibela in Ethiopia and Aksum, the home of the Ark of the Covenant, and all these amazing old places. And when I was in Zanzibar, looking past the tourists and the gin and tonics and the vodkas, there were very powerful imageries out there of old dhows, beautiful Maasai people, and you could almost say the Maasai were the face of Africa in the 1850s. They were the people best known to the world. And then Stone Town with its thick chalky walls. And for me, I thought that the combination of all of these three elements, Maasai have been photographed forever. Stone Town's been photographed, I say no more. And dhows, you know, there's no horizon in East Africa without a dhow sail on it. But putting the whole three together was a new angle.
Africa is beautiful, culture deep, colorful, and unique. Valentine talks of his travels around the continent and his idea behind the story of an African city, Zanzibar. Photography plays a big role in exploration and discovery, and this exhibition titled The Asana Santa details just that. It is a black and white display.
I've been toying with Zanzibar for a couple of years, actually. Never really kind of been entirely sure of whether to go and to do it. But yeah, Mark had this idea of shooting the Maasai and Zanzibar and the dhows, and you know, we kind of bantered about it for quite some time. And then earlier this year it was, well, let's just do it, let's go, let's do it. So, you know, Mark was there for a couple of days, but you know, for me it was also, okay, now there's a real reason to go to Zanzibar, let's do this. And then I stayed for another 10 days, 11 days, shooting my own stuff. You know.
Balam has in the past few years become accustomed to black and white photography as opposed to color. We're just curious to know his reason behind it.
I've always liked black and white photography.